So I wanted to talk to you about the four most important numbers that you absolutely have to positively, definitely, most importantly, track in your business. This is going to be really, really exciting because we're going to talk about stats. Okay, it's not actually that exciting, but it is crucial. The reason that these are important is because they give you like an overall view of the health of your academy. Okay, and whether you're actually growing or whether you're receding, I guess is the other way to look at it. First one that you need to look at is the number of leads that you're getting. Okay, so people define leads in lots of different ways. Some people like to track every single piece of engagement that someone gives them on their like social media. So every like they get, every comment, they think of that as a lead. I personally don't like that. I think it's too unspecific. The way that I look at a lead is someone that makes an action towards joining our academy. So that might be they send us a Facebook message inquiring about classes. It might be that they comment on a Facebook post or an Instagram post about classes. It might be that they register for a trial on our website. It might be they give us a phone call. It might be they send us an email. That are what I consider leads. Everybody else is, to me, they're not really a fully fledged lead. A lot of people will kind of, like posts and they might stalk you on social media for a long time before they take any action. To me, they're not ready to join, and I don't view them as someone that I'm going to invest my time and energy into converting to a student just yet, because it's not the right time for them. Okay, so that's the first one, number of leads. And the second one that you have to track is, let me spell this correctly, intros. Okay, so that is the number of people that are coming in to try classes in your gym. Okay, and that normally the way that I do that is track it as a percentage of the leads as well. So you'll have a percentage of those people that inquire about classes will then take the next step to actually attend a class. Okay, the industry average is normally talked about as to being like 50%, in case you wanted to know that. Okay, so that gives you a clue of how your process between like leads and then getting that next step of people actually trying a class, whether that part of the process is working. Okay, obviously if number of leads is dependent on the marketing activity that you're doing. The next step that you want to look at is the number of signups. And again, industry average is around about 50%, which is what people tend to look at. Okay, so the reason that you look at signups is obviously you want to know how many people are joining your classes. That's very, very important. And the way that you want to do that is sometimes you might want less people to join. Okay, in all honesty, that's the situation that we're at the moment, is we are not really advertising too much because we don't have the space in our classes and we want to maintain the quality of our classes. So if we overpopulate them, the experience that people are going to have in our gym is going to go down. Okay, so, and again, this is normally done as a percentage of the intros. Okay, so let's say that you had, I'll do that in a second. I'll give you a bit of an example in a second. The final thing that you want to track is attrition. Let me see if I can spell attrition. Something like that anyway. Okay, and again, industry average is somewhere around about 6%. So attrition is the number of people that leave as a percentage of your overall student body. Okay, so let's say that you've got 100 people, 6 people leave over the course of the month. That gives you the 6% attrition. Okay, and that's about the industry average. That's what like most gyms are working towards. All right, so within each of these things, I'm going to show you kind of how it breaks down and how you might want to start manipulating it, or not manipulating it, but how you might want to start looking at the different areas of your gym. Okay, so let's say that you have 100 leads. Okay, I'm going to do some things and see if this looks good. So we've got 100 leads. Okay, we know that, industry average is about 50%. So that's going to lead to about 50 intros. Okay. Of those intros, you're then going to have signups, again, about 50%. So that's going to be 25 signups. Okay, that's kind of your general process. Now, if you start to drop these numbers or manipulate these numbers, let's say you're still getting 100 leads, but you can increase this to 60%. You do a little bit of work. That means that this is going to go up to 60%, and then this one's going to change up to 30%. Okay, so that's where you want to look at your gym. And you can obviously do the same thing going the other way. Let's say you only have 10% of your leads actually go to things. So you go 10 here, and that's only going to result in 5 new signups. Okay, that is where the big issue is. Like if you look at all of these things, you know you're tracking at it. If you know that your intros are only at 10% of your leads, that's a huge issue. Okay, and it'd be the same if you had like, let's go back to these numbers again, 50. So you end up with 50 of these, and your signups, you only had 10%, it's going to be 5 again. So you need to know that this is the area that you want to be spending and investing your time up to start to pull that one back up to 50% and increase your enrollment again. Now, as I said, just because these are the industry averages, that's not necessarily what you want to be working in your business. I'm going to give you an example as well. For us, like I said, we have very, very busy classes. The way that we've structured our gym right now is that we have waiting lists on the classes, and we make people have to want to join the gym. So for example, if someone doesn't turn up 15 minutes before their class time for an intro, then we just send them away, because it means that they're told about this, they're perfectly aware about this. It doesn't give us time to give them like the proper intro experience. We can't sit down and talk with them, everything's rushed. And typically what happens is those people don't tend to sign up anyway because they haven't had the same experience that you want. Okay, so what's happened to us, because we've introduced a lot of different, I'm not going to say areas because I can't think of a better word, a lot of different bits to our intro process that make it a better experience, our number of signups has actually decreased slightly. But hopefully once everything's in place, people get used to this procedure, it will go back up to a higher place than it was before. Okay, and again, because what we're doing now is we don't invest a huge amount of time in actually getting leads. A lot of it's kind of more awareness marketing, and we're not getting that many people. We're pre-qualifying a lot of people into our gym, so the number of leads to intros isn't huge at the moment because we just don't have the space for people. We have waiting lists. So for example, if you're getting 100 leads but you have waiting lists on all of your classes, essentially the intros is going to be 0, okay, and you're going to have 0 signups. Okay, so that's the way that you want to think about it. Okay, but that doesn't mean that these people won't convert in the future, and that's where the next thing is attrition comes into play as well. So attrition is, let's say you have 100 students and 6 of those leave. Let's say times 6. I should have done percentages. That would have been more sense. You can tell I'm not a university lecturer. That's going to give you 6 people leaving, but that's their attrition rate. Okay, so 6% of those people, 6 people leave, that's 6% attrition, right? If you have, let's say you have 200 students, then that's 12 people leaving. 300 students is 18 people leaving at 6% attrition rate. Okay, you can do the math yourself if you want. So if you have a 300-person academy, you know that the number of new signups you get is going to have to be at minimum 18 per month. So if we plug this kind of back into our formula a little bit, when we get everywhere, we know that we need to have 18 signups. Whoopsie daisies. Let me scroll down a little bit. 18 signups a month. Okay, that means that if we're working on 50%, that means that we're going to need to have at least 36 trials. Okay, which means that if we're again working on 50% intros, that means that we're going to need to at least have 72, not trials, I should have intros, I'm using the same language. Sorry, I'm jumping about in my language here a little bit. And I'm working formulas backwards and typing all at the same time. This is why you shouldn't multitask leads. So this is why understanding these numbers is important. If you have a 300-person academy, you know that you need to get at least 18 new members just to stay at 300 across the course of a month. Okay, that means you're going to need at least 36 intros and at least 72 leads, assuming that all these are like the industry averages for what you have. Okay, and that becomes very, very powerful. This is actually an issue that a lot of gyms have with is their attrition rate, because if their attrition is 7-8% at 300 and they don't have enough intros coming in, they just start to slide backwards and they can never get past a certain sticking point. Okay, and that's why I personally think attrition is one of the best places to focus your energy, and it'll allow you for the most consistent, steady growth of your academy. That's what we do. So for example, if your attrition is only 1%, if we take this same example, I'm going to get this and I'm going to copy and paste it down here a little bit. If we have only a 1% attrition, that's 3 people leaving. That means that we only need 3 signups. That means that we only need 6 intros, and 12 leads. Okay. So that is why this is important, and that's sort of why attrition is, to me, is like the most important metric. Okay, because obviously if your attrition rate goes up, that means that there's a problem with your classes. That means that the people that are coming to your classes don't see the value in staying with you. There's other reasons this might happen. For example, during the pandemic, everybody's attrition skyrocketed through the roof. The same, there was a lot of people are feeling like the cost of living crisis at the moment. Attrition goes up. Okay. That's just the nature of the beast. It's the nature of being in part of the business. But as I said, that's why I feel like this is one of the most important things you have, particularly once you've built your gym up to a certain level. Combating that attrition rate can make a massive, massive difference to not only the success of your academy, but also to the profitability and the energy and investment you have to put in. Just looking at these two examples, it's really clear. You're gonna have to do far more work to get 72 leads in than you would to get 12 in. That's why this is important. Okay, that's why these numbers are important to track. Okay, more than anything else. Okay, everything is going to be based on these kind of 4 numbers. The way that we do it, I'll show you how we do it. Like, there's tons of different ways. This is our original method because we didn't have any software in place, and we've just kind of kept it. And this is a spreadsheet. Okay, so it's a really simple spreadsheet I've created. I'll add a link to it. You can copy it and then use it for yourself if you want to. And basically what you do is you start with this number up here, number of students you presently have. Let's say we've got 100 here. And then what will hopefully happen, boom, all of these numbers will start to change based on where you want to grow and how you want to get to it and all those kind of... 10 is not the best number. Let's try that again. 100. There you go. So if we follow this plan, this is our goals. So these are the number of leads that we want to be looking at getting each month to grow. This is our leads per month. If we're talking about 30 leads a month, then these are your sign-up rates. If I switch this over to 50 and to 50, these are the industry averages as we talked about before, and 6. So if we have 100 students based on the industry average of getting 30 leads a month, the end of the year, we will have grown to 136 students. Okay, so that's a 30% increase over the course of a year. Sustainable, for sure. Is it going to be massively impactful? Maybe not. Okay, but you're still growing, which is not a bad thing. The thing to think about is if you can adjust some of these different variables. So, for example, ours is... our sign-up rate at the moment is running about 70%, I think, because of all the changes we made. If you change that one thing, you've now got 171 students. So you can see by changing this intro to sign-up, that the experience that people have, that can make a huge difference to the number of students that you have at the end of the year. That's effectively from 100 to 171. It's like a 70% increase. That's massive. Okay, and then because I know that we have let's go 1.5, because that's about what we're at. Again, if you attack that attrition, you've now jumped 140 students, 146 students over the course of a year. Okay, so this is why this stuff's important. You can play around with it, you can change it. There's lots of different areas, and you can see how it affects. Like if you just want to go after leads, let's say that we wanted to get to the same volume, 246 with the national averages, right? If I put in 100 leads here, it gets up there. So by increasing the number of leads I'm getting a month, so marketing effort, doing a ton of stuff, that's going to make the difference over here. And you can see that we've actually grown to 270 students. So all of these different things are important. This is not something I would want to do, by the way. I would not want to get 100 leads a month. You can see that that's... so the way that these numbers are calculated, there are like little seasonal variations, which I've plugged in as well. So these are all based on real numbers that we've tracked over time. And adjusted according to like what we see. So, some months you're going to have like July, for example, or August, you're going to see that we're going to end up with a lot less leads. And we've got it plugged in as about 75% less leads in August, okay, based on this number. I'm getting deep into stats here. Hopefully you guys are finding this valuable, but yeah, this is deep into stats. But it is really, really important for your gym. I've lost track of my point. Anyway, I'll come back to it. But yeah, this is our tracker. Like I said, I'll link to it. The way that we do it is we have a number of different styles. You see this will all update across the thing. So January goal, 60 leads. Oh yeah, I've got back to my point, right. So if we have, let's say, our really bumper recruitment times, I don't know why that's wrong. That needs to change. Our really bumper recruitment times are going to be like, March is going to be a big one as well. That should be B4. That's where that's wrong. Let's change that while we're here. Boom. B4. Look at this, editing on the fly. Oh, and we've gone up to 296. These are like our really bumper times for enrollments. Okay, we're coming into this right now where you're going to have a lot of people who are just interested in classes. That makes your marketing efforts easier. That means if you have this massive influx of leads, like let's say you're getting this huge amount of leads, that's 50 intros a day. Okay, sorry, a month. Okay, that's about maybe let's call it 2 people for the sake of this example. 2 people per night if you're working on a 30-day month, so you're working every day a week. Let's say you only operate 5 days a week. Now you're going to have 10 people a week as intros. That's a lot. Okay, that means that you're going to be like bouncing from intro to intro to intro, which is why I don't like chasing leads in this way. Okay, I'd prefer to have what ours is, which is we try to maintain about a 30%. So now we get much more manageable numbers. Okay, so like, intros are going to be 9. Sign-ups I've got 100% for some reason, because we've got a lot of things going on there. These are going to be things that we want to work on. Okay, like that's a much more manageable level of intros that we have. Like this is like about 3 a week, I would say 4 a week, something like that. That means that you're going to be able to spend time with each of those students. You're not going to be overwhelmed. For example, we do like anybody who comes into Academy who's brand new, they get a gi. We have to then wash those gis. It means you're not going to be doing tons of laundry. That's an important thing. Okay, so hopefully you guys found that useful. Hopefully I didn't waffle too much, particularly at the end where I lost my train of thought. Like I said, I'll share this sheet with you, and just think about these things. Like this makes a huge difference to your Academy when you start to break it down like this, and you can see where all of the problems, like the glaring problems that you have, like we're working on a 30 lead basis, or in this example, 100 lead basis. If that suddenly drops down to like 0 or 50, like there's a problem with your marketing. It might be something on the outside. Same with the intros. If that suddenly drops to like, or it goes up, let's say it goes up to 70, then it means that something you did meant that more people were coming in. What was that thing you did? What was the social media that you put out? What was the way that you answered the phone? Was it quicker? Was it slightly? You can work on that, and across all of these different boards. Same if you change up your classes, everything's going to make a difference. Anyway, so hopefully you guys found that useful. This is a long video, but I think it's well worth your investment watching it. If you have any questions, just drop them below.